In 2081, a robotics company bought up a small social media website to create an all-new experience in human interaction. Find yourself speechless in social situations. Just can't find the right thing to make small talk about? Do people just not know the real you? Do you find yourself in job interviews where you just can't think of a positive enough anecdote about yourself to show just how great a person you really are? Are you hospitalised with amnesia and need reminding that you've definitely led an interesting life? Well, to find all of those great memories of world-shaping experiences that you definitely had, now there's Past Face. Past Face is a friendly robot who knows everything you've ever done. Past Face will follow you wherever you go, and it will load everything you've ever put on the internet into its brain. And it will recite your past experiences at parties or in social situations to let everyone know how brilliant you really are. Have trouble finding something to break the ice? Past Face will start talking about your exciting skiing holiday in the Alps, or your hot and sexy relationships. Feel uncomfortable when opening up about yourself? Well, now you don't have to. Past Face will be sociable, so you don't have to be. Past Face, your internet footprint in a robot helper friend. It found its relatively small niche, but unfortunately, around a decade later, it was bought up by SoCorp, the global social media conglomerate who merged it as part of Social Plus, which consequently forced every Social Plus user to get one, whether they wanted to or not. Dave woke up and blinked the sleep gunk out of his eyes and waved his hand around looking for his phone to silence the alarm that was currently drilling into his skull. Once he'd done that, he then saw the lady off the telly stood opposite the bed. "Hi there!" He screamed in horror and almost leapt out of his skin when he suddenly realised that he had a handcuff around his wrist attached to a long metallic cord leading out of his bedroom door. What the hell? Get the fuck out! Now, there's no need for language, David. You're the lady off those adverts. My name is Cassandra 109-B, said the lady. She was a lot shorter than she was in the adverts, and a lot more plastic, and her smile was less like that of an actual human's and more like an ancient child's doll from the time before manufacturers realised their products were destined to become a running theme in the type of cheap horror movies that Dave enjoyed. Her eyes blinked sideways. I am your guide bot, here to help you through the Social Plus merging day. Social Plus? What the hell are you talking about? Oh, you don't know? There were adverts everywhere reminding you about it. I don't pay attention to adverts, who does? Yes, exactly. Social Plus are merging Past Face with all of your current bubbling hotbed of social media activity. Past Face, name rings a bell. What's that again? Yes, Past Face is totally awesome. It puts your internet footprint into one easy referral databank to make your social life more easier to manage. More easier? Yes. She nodded happily. Your one's just preparing himself now. But I don't want a Past Face. Oh, really? Well, I'm afraid you'll have to track down the forms to remove it. Disconnecting any part of the Social Plus experience takes time, you see, and you need to sign up to everything again separately, and re-sign-ups need to be approved by a committee under new regulations. You know, we've all got to do our bit to fight terrorism. It might just be easier to get used to it. Really, it's going to revolutionise your social life. What the fuck? Anyway, I think he'll be almost finished downloading your internet footprint now. Who? What? She leant out of his bedroom door. Unit 1127B287-A, are you almost done yet? There was a grunt from the living room. He'll be ready in a minute. I don't want him in a minute! Or at all! But it was too late. It stomped in. The robot was utterly horrifying. It was 7 feet tall and with a large bulky stomach. It was a dark grey colour and had large horns growing lazily out the sides of its head pointed towards the floor. It was naked and genderless, but with a large childish cartoon drawing of a penis drawn seemingly in marker pen where its genitalia should have been. At the top of its hideous body it had a large floppy fringe almost covering its eyes above a huge sad face that had been lazily engraved into its metallic head. Ah, he's done. It seems there was quite a lot of you on the internet. He moulds himself to the shape of your combined internet image that you present to your fellow users. Wait, so taking account of all my internet activity... I look like that.
Yes, I think so. That's all 25 years of you in one friendly robot.
It grunted and scratched its arse.
Fucking cunt.
It coughed. It then spat on the floor. It's horrible!
Oh, really? We thought you'd like him. He is a result of who you are, after all. Don't you like you?
No, now get rid of him!
Oh, but everything's been set up now. This is annoying.
She blinked sideways again, and she then put her fingers to her temples and began to concentrate.
Okay, attempting to communicate with the Social Plus servers. Communicating.
She stood rubbing her temples for a while.
Sorry, there's a server error. Looks like too many people are trying to contact technical support.
Yeah, I should think so. Probably to disconnect your fucking stupid robot.
Shut up, I'm trying to communicate. No, it's not doing it. I just keep getting the try again later message. Sorry, I'll get back to you in a couple of days. Would you like me to send an error report?
Yes!
Okay.
She massaged her temples again.
Okay, error report sent.
Right, and will that achieve anything?
As much as error reports always do.
So nothing.
I'll have to get back to you on that, user.
My name's Dave. You know this.
Well, I had to refresh my interface, didn't I? Christ, you're a grumpy user, aren't you?
Of course I am, because you bloody just gave me a...
Anyway, I'd better get off. I've got 5 more past faces to connect up before lunchtime. It's been such a busy process, you wouldn't believe. And people have complained about them so much. Honestly, it's exhausting.
But you can't do this!
Well, as I said, you're very welcome to track down the forms to disconnect from this aspect of the Social Plus experience. We're just trying to help everyone represent their true selves to the world, you know.
Who the hell even wants past face? Freaks who are terminally smug about everything they've ever done?
You'll get used to it. People always do. And besides, SoCorp do need to own all of the social media outlets on the market. If we don't integrate, they disintegrate. That's the motto.
Why? What'll disintegrate? What does that even mean?
They just will. Anyway, ta-ta!
She vanished in a puff of static, leaving behind the large ogre-like robot stood chained to Dave, which was now lolling its head around lazily and hocking up mucus. Hi, said Dave. It didn't answer. So, you're my past face then? The robot whirred into life.
I am your past face. Remember that awesome holiday you went on when you were 16 with your friends? It was the first time you'd been on holiday with friends. Here are some pictures of your holiday and a status from the time.
It beamed some pictures of Dave and some friends windsurfing into a holographic projection.
Can't believe I have to go home tomorrow. FML, such an awesome place. Dave Simmons, July 27th, 2071,
said the status. Oh, that's nice, he said as he admired the pictures. I'd forgotten all about that. The warm and fuzzy feeling of nostalgia was just overwhelming. He'd almost forgotten why he was so mad a few seconds ago.
And remember that wicked night out when you were 18, when you and your friends got drunk, sicked up everywhere, and here's a video that someone recorded on their phone of you in the street singing the song I Feel Your Pain by the emo rock band Mad Frankman before being talked to by the police?
Dave remembered why he'd been so mad now. It then played the video of a bunch of drunken youths covered in sick shouting the childish self-pitying lyrics to an awful rock song he didn't like anymore into the camera, while a policeman occupied the pixels in the background. One of the drunken youths was recognisably Dave, immortalised in a hologram from the place where it was forever stored on a social media website that he couldn't remember the password to. Yeah, that time.
Ha 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 ha. You is a ledge, mate. That is what Ryan Dobson posted as a comment on that video. It was then followed by more of your friends talking about how much of a laugh you all had that night.
Yeah, I've got it, thanks.
And then you and your friends start talking about a fit bird you met in a club who totally fancied you.
That's enough, past face.
And then Ryan Dobson makes a joke about her lopsided breasts.
That's enough, past face. He found his flatmate Sian sat in the kitchen having breakfast as her past face was playing a video of her and some friends wandering around Venice on holiday. She laughed at a joke that she remembered someone telling, and then one of her friends posed with a statue while doing a humorous impression of the serious face that it was pulling. "Oh my god, I remember that! Oh, I haven't spoken to Lauren in years. I must remember to get back in touch." She then got out her phone and started typing a message to the friend that she'd fallen out of contact with. It was as though Sian were being featured in a perfect advert for the robotic memory droid. "Oh, hi Dave, how are you?" she asked absent-mindedly while she happily scrolled through some past statuses in her robot's holographic projection. Hi," Dave mumbled despondently as he slumped into the chair opposite. His robot thumped across the kitchen and started picking up random objects on the counter and sniffing them. It then spat on the floor again and swore as it hocked up more mucus. "Ooh, I see someone's been dragged kicking and screaming into the 22nd century," Sian laughed at the robot. "How are you finding it?" A bit daunting." "Well, I suppose we all thought that at first. Ooh, did you see these pictures of me doing a skydive for charity a couple of years ago? That was a brilliant time, that was. We raised £2,000 for kids with leukemia."
Proud of you, BBZ XOX smiley face. That was a comment posted by Anita McAvoy. The following comments include, "You are so special, Sian. Love you, XXX. From your boyfriend at the time, Sam Mitchum."
"Yes, that's enough, robot," Dave snapped. "What's wrong, Dave? You seem a bit wound up today." Sian, do you think that past face, not to say that it is for you, but do you think it could possibly be seen as, well, more of a burden than an interesting social media enhancement?" Well, no, why would I think that?"
"Hey, Sian," squeaked her past face. "Here is that awesome party you went to with your friends on holiday in Ibiza last year."
"Oh, wow, I remember that!" Sian beamed at the display. "But what if, right? What if something comes up that you're less than proud of? Mine appears to be set on random. You've just got to get to grips with it, that's all. My past face and I are total BFFs now. Look, I'm just thinking, what if I've said or done something stupid online and I've totally forgotten about it and it just comes out randomly and makes me look stupid with embarrassing examples of my former self?" Yes, the horns. Were you a troll, Dave? Did you used to do trolling?" She shook her head in an informally displeased manner. "Well, yeah, I was a troll, sort of. Never anything serious, though. I mean, who hasn't said something a bit gobby online just to get a reaction? I'd never say half the stuff that I said when I was a dumb kid who didn't know any better these days." Well, that's past face for you. Puts things in perspective," she tutted.
Quote Dave Simmons, comment section on user KevinVlogs92's video, "Why is the turnout for young voters so low? Democracy, use it or lose it."
Politics is fucking boring and voting's for fags. Fuck off the internet, you fag. Hashtag nobody cares. Dave, we were children. Who didn't talk shit when they were children? But politics matters, you know? Well, yeah, of course I know that now, but I was a fucking idiot when I was 12. Why do I need to remind myself of stuff like that? Well, yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. I'm a grown-up now. Well, yeah. User on this forum, Communion Wafer 82, needs to go get himself some pussy. Shut up, past face, Dave snapped. Well, yeah, you were a kid, I suppose, but maybe, right? Maybe you need to post so many positive and impressive things online that the bad stuff that you regret only comes up every once in a while. Positive and impressive things. Like what? Hey guys, I just donated lots of money that I don't have to a homeless shelter. Hey everyone, just magically stumbled across a bad man drowning puppies in a river and I stopped him and kicked him in the balls and took the puppies to the RSPCA. Discovered a cure for pancreatic cancer the other day. Aren't I the greatest man who ever lived? Lol. Well, no, not like that, but like you doing something nice. Like, maybe I could take some pictures of you in the park picking some flowers or something. It'd have to be a fucklot of pictures of a fucklot of flowers to diffuse 25 years of potentially embarrassing shite. Well, yeah, I guess. I just want to know, how is this thing going to be of any use in my day-to-day life? Well, you saw the advert. Well, yeah, I remember the advert now. I didn't agree with it, though. I'm perfectly capable of holding a conversation without needing a robot to prattle on about my past achievements and talk about things I did as a kid that I'd never do now. Well, it's nice, isn't it? We're all nostalgic for times gone by in some way. I mean, sometimes mine's brought up stuff that I'm not too proud of, too. Mostly it was just pictures of my dinner. No idea why I thought sharing that picture of a curry that me and Sam had one night was a good idea. But why do I need it? Why has it been forced on me? Why did this need to be invented? What was the purpose? Well, what if someone has amnesia? Then they can have Pastface to remind them about all the cool things that have happened in their life. So Pastface will become useful if I ever have amnesia. Well, the lady on the advert said, she said, job interviews? Oh shit, I've got one of those tomorrow. Ooh, that'll be good. Fuck! Dave smacked his face on the table and balled his hands over his head. Fuck! 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 I'm fucked! I'm fucked! I need to pay my rent soon as well. Fuck! There was a brief silence.
Status from Dave Simmons, 27/11/2069. I am totals revising for GCSEs. Watching porn counts as revising, right? Ruffle.
Sian shuffled uncomfortably. Dave could only manage one shy glance up at her pitying look. I still think you're a good person, Dave. Yeah, but will anyone else, though?
You've got an interview to prepare for.
Shut up, robot.
That's not very nice. Recording.
Oh, for fuck's sake, don't record that.
Dave tells people he doesn't like to shut up.
You're only doing this because I'm trying to find a way to disconnect you. The robot threw a hissy fit and started babbling between reiterations of bits of embarrassing flame wars that Dave had partaken in 7 years previously, which were intercut with the occasional advert. It had taken about a day, but his Pastface had finally started talking on its own, and now it just wouldn't shut the fuck up. It had now absorbed Dave's speech patterns from a series of vlogs that he'd uploaded during his university days. Dave utterly hated the sound of its voice. It was like being chained to an 18-year-old version of himself. Hello, said the webpage. Welcome to the Pastface user-friendly guide page. Here are some frequently asked questions. Question 1. I love Pastface. Where can I buy a Pastface t-shirt? Click here to go to our online merch store, where we've got loads of cool offers and other merch. Question 2. My Pastface hasn't merged with one of my Social Plus accounts yet. Is there a problem, or do I just have to wait? Pastface starts with a basic selection of the accounts that you've held. It'll take about a week to process every single tiny little thing that you've ever put on the internet. Every forum account, every social media website, every email, everything you've ever been on the mailing list for, every cookie from every website that you've ever visited, and all of your internet history that you thought you deleted. Pastface becomes totally personalised to who you are on the internet. Isn't that totally cool? Question 3. My Pastface keeps lagging when it loads thoughts and gets stuck on an advert for too long. How do I subscribe to the Pastface premium option to stop that? Pastface is paid for by adverts, so all economy users will be subject to the occasional advert every now and then. But just to make things easier, we've tailored the adverts for your internet preferences with all of your cookies. So your Pastface will only show adverts that are linked to you. All of you. As for the premium option, you can find it in our merch store. Update today and your Pastface load time will decrease. You'll also get exclusive access to our extra descriptive feature, which will make your Pastface experience even more fulfilling and awe-inspiring to your friends and social circle. Dave scrolled through lots more questions about the Pastface user interface, which basically amounted to further PR for the wretched machine, before he finally came across question 39. How do I disconnect Pastface from my Social Plus account? You have to click here to go to the Social Plus fragmentation app. But why on earth would you want to do that? Then you won't be able to share all of your great memories and experiences with all of your friends. At Pastface, we have a saying, an experience not shared is an experience wasted. Yes! Finally! Shouted Dave. He began to read the message that popped up when he clicked on the link. Social Plus fragmentation. Warning, fragmenting your Social Plus account will mean that all of your awesome apps and data will be deleted. Since user data is usually quite large, this may take a while, and all of our servers are very busy at the moment, so you will be left without access to your accounts. And you may have to sign up to them again. Do you wish to proceed? He'd clicked yes before he even read it. It then said this. Fragmenting. Data size 94 terabytes. Time remaining 3 days. Oh, thought Dave. Of course it did. Cancel and stay with the awesome apps of Social Plus, bringing everyone and everything together in one account. Dave swore loudly and smacked his face on the keyboard.
In 2073, you received 12 links from the website www.fistandfuck.biz, 9 of which you opened.
Fuck off, Pastface! Funnily enough, the job interview was with a group of executives at a company that did search engine optimization for a conglomerate of marketing companies that specifically targeted users of SoCorp-owned social media websites. Dave sat in the foyer in his crumpled suit that he'd hastily ironed about 90 minutes previously as he scrolled through his spelling and grammar mistake-riddled interview notes on his tablet. The robot tugged on the cord that bound them together, dragging Dave's wrist away from the screen just to annoy him. Dave kicked the robot. You're not helping.
I know you are, but what am I?
That doesn't even make any sense.
Advertisement incoming.
Oh shit, not again. His Pastface then projected a flickering image of a hair-gelled young man in a pristine suit into the office lobby. Everyone who was sat around with their own Pastfaces looked up to see Dave hastily standing in front of the holographic man. Pill X brand Viagra is the best way to ensure that your penis never runs out of juice. The hologram then went into a very graphic explanation of the effects of its product, accompanied by a barely censored series of sex scenes displayed next to him. Dave attempted to block the image by waving his arms around in front of it. He'd already learnt what moments to either hum or start singing loudly over the advert, since it was one of only about 3 adverts that his cookies seemed to stick his robot's commercial breaks on. He wasn't sure by the end of the advert which was the bigger embarrassment, his singing or the fact that everyone pretty much knew what the advert was for anyway. Fucking dickhead. He kicked the robot again as he sat down.
I can't help it, Dave. It's like when humans get hiccups.
Yeah, but you still won't let me reprogram you, so I still say it's your fault.
I told you, Dave, our software's locked. My hands are tied.
Whatever, Dave muttered and continued scrolling through his notes. His Pastface stayed peculiarly quiet, which Dave strangely found even more off-putting.
It's a nice place, isn't it?
His Pastface innocently observed. I don't think so.
Oh, okay then.
Aren't you supposed to reflect my opinions?
I thought that might be your opinion. I was just guessing.
Oh, I get it now. You're doing what I used to do.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're making light-hearted small talk to distract me from something you just did to annoy me on purpose.
So what if I am?
Oh, just let me work. It was about 30 minutes until Dave was invited in by a lady in a business suit with a clipboard. He prayed internally that his robot wasn't about to make some sort of stupid comment that his former self would have made about her appearance.
Advertisement incoming.
Oh, Christ, not this again. Should I come and get you in a minute? Hi, I'm Dr. Dale Stockhauser from the University of Penetration. I'm going to teach you the magic trick to make a woman jump into bed with you. The lady looked uncomfortable as the advertisement became even more graphic. She then went back inside. You can come in when you're ready. Swearing under his breath, Dave waited for the robot to shut up. Please, I will give you anything to just keep quiet for the next hour.
I can only say I'll try, Dave.
Good, now let's stay calm, we can get through this. Dave's nerves balled up into a tumour of anxiety in the pit of his stomach. The executives were sat splayed out across the back wall of the room before an intimidating-looking meeting table with complicated labyrinthine notes strewn about the place. Hi everyone, said Dave. His robot was fortunately staying quiet. The appearance of it did raise a few eyebrows, but they mostly seemed able to ignore it. So, Mr. Simmons, as you'll no doubt be aware, we're a startup company funded by SoCorp, primarily focused on SEO management. We optimize data relating to large companies for advertisement through SoCorp-operated social media. We're looking for keen young graduates like yourself with a shrewd eye for new methods of interconnectivity. Well, I think you'll find that I have the perfect skill set for such a role, Dave began. You see, my final project at university was building an online database for a local web design business who later recruited me as an intern. The interview went on in that vein for about 20 minutes. The front of professionalism sort of held up, though everyone, Dave included, kept shooting apprehensive glances at the robot. Everyone was just waiting on tenterhooks for it to ruin the interview, as it inevitably would. And unfortunately, it didn't disappoint. It says here that you managed the student radio station's website for a while. What means did you come up with to enhance their site's social media visibility?
Dave Simmons posted a blog about social media on the 21st of November 2070.
I'm sorry? Oh, fuck! Sorry, my past face is... The robot then began reading a blog post written by his 14-year-old self, who fully expressed what he thought of advertising on social media, or as he had called it at the age of 14, a bunch of fucking cyber-stalking cunts in suits.
I just don't get why marketing scumfucks think they're entitled to fucking stalk my browser's cookies and advertise their absolute wank to me on whatever website I'm on. It's like they're following me around the internet coming up with their stupid adverts. It's fucking creepy. It's so annoying. Mum wanted to use my computer the other day, and when she went on her website, it just kept coming up with all these sidebar adverts for cock rings and butt plugs.
The robot recited the entire post, which took a while, and it got stuck on a few words which were misspelt to such an alarming degree that his past face couldn't even figure out how to pronounce them.
And then fired from a cannon into the centre of the sun.
It finally finished the agonisingly long entry, and the room had been stunned into silence. The silence lingered there for some time. I think we've seen enough, Mr. Simmons. But please don't listen to him. That was just something stupid I posted on some crappy blog when I was a kid. Right. But it did say that people like us were a bunch of, what did it say, Sandra? I think it was scumfucks, Chris. But please, just, come on, I've grown up a lot since then. Honestly, who's never posted something online that they've regretted later? Why on earth would you go ahead and do something if you're going to regret it later? Yes, that sounds ludicrous, said Sandra. Her own past face suddenly lurched into life.
On July the 24th, 2078, you finalised the plans for a charity fundraiser for flood victims in Ecuador.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, that brings back happy memories and makes me feel warm and good about myself. I've failed, haven't I? Dave mumbled. The room silenced again. Sandra failed to initiate a sentence. Everyone started awkwardly looking at each other. It was clear that they were all feeling slightly sorry for Dave in spite of what they'd just heard. There was no going back now, though. His chances were dead and buried. The word scumfucks tends to set things like that in stone. Sandra struggled to continue that sentence for a while. Eventually she came out with, I'm sure something else will come along, upon seeing Dave's mouth setting into a hard line. Could we get security to escort him out? Dave slumped into a chair in the kitchen and started crying in frustration for what felt like the billionth time in the last 48 hours. The robot sat next to him.
Dave?
What?
If you'd like, I could start playing back your old holiday photos. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Can you do that?
Well, I'll try.
The robot managed a few nice pictures of lakesides and beaches before getting stuck on reciting forum posts and statuses from Dave ages 15 to 17. Most of them were knob jokes. Dave left the room. and he then jumped as soon as he walked in his bedroom door. Data fragmentation successful. Forgetting his chained companion, he bolted to the computer and sat down, yanking his robot outside to the floor in the process. He heard a smash and assumed he'd broken a glass or something, but he didn't care. This was too important. His future depended on the next click of his mouse. Transmitting request for finalization. Come on, he muttered to himself, barely believing it. He was right to have his doubts. Your data has been placed in a queue for finalization. You are number 3,134,987th. The number stayed solid for a good 20 minutes. His pass-face stumbled in with a minced hand covered in shards of glass and with hanging wires and smeared coolant fluid everywhere.
Dave, I broke a window,
coughed the robot. And that was more of Dave's rent gone. His head was spinning. He couldn't take any more of this. He gave up and went to bed in a rancid puddle of depression. It would be one of the last of 70 nights in his life that he'd be able to afford to live indoors. Dave's other hand was now chained to the desk. His face was set into a permanent grimace. He was waiting for the legal bot to come and give him a chewing out in place of the apology that he believed he deserved before his court hearing in a few hours. Sorry, Dave, could you look a bit less surly and more just sad? Asked the documentary director. I can't feel anything anymore, Dave muttered bitterly. No, I mean, just pretend, for the camera. It had been one of a constant series of requests that he'd had ever since the documentary crew from the Passface arm of SoCorp had found a down-on-his-luck homeless man living in a back doorway to a building occupied by yet another SEO company. Search engine optimization companies were springing up everywhere in the aftermath of the merging, and naturally Dave hated the smug pricks for it. After a few days of tracking his movements and requesting as overdramatic shots as they could possibly get from him to highlight the dangers of not reading the latest Passface terms and conditions, Dave had eventually been arrested for begging in the street without a permit. He hadn't eaten for a few days, and the documentary crew wanted him to go hungry and a bit mad for a bit for the sake of the cameras, and he had started shouting incoherently at total strangers and finally went a bit too far when he grabbed a guy and bellowed in his face. You sure you don't want to sign that non-disclosure agreement yet? Asked Mike. I'll get back to you on that. There's a tenner in it for you. Shut it.
Fuckity cunt shitwhack.
His robot hocked up some more phlegm. It had barely said anything else in the last 10 years between statuses and forum posts. Dave hadn't had access to a computer in order to start diluting 25 years of digital sludge. A robot representative of Passface then came into the interview chamber without ceremony a few minutes later.
Ah, Dave, so glad we could arrange a meeting.
The robot faked enthusiasm with much efficiency. Dave would have been impressed if he could still feel anything. Likewise.
So you're currently number 286 in the queue to finalize the Passface account disconnection. Sorry it's taken so long. It's a complicated process, you must understand.
Ah yes, that's good. I was stuck in the 3 millions last time I had access to a computer.
Oh, right. And when was that precisely?
About a decade ago.
Oh. Sorry about that.
I should bloody well think so.
So yes, my name's Chris978-B, and I'm the Passface Chief Executive Legal Bot. I'm told you wanted to have this little discussion before your hearing.
Yes. Are you recording this, Mike? Yes, Dave. Good. Now, legal bots, I just want a record for the court. Something I've wanted explained to me for a good long while now.
Hey, Mike, remember this documentary you made about a village in Zambia?
Mike, shut that thing up. Oh, sorry, Dave. Mike slapped his own past face. It obeyed. Dave was instantly jealous. Now, I want you to explain something to me, legal bot. What is the point of Passface?
I'm sorry?
What is the point of Passface? It's a very simple question.
Well, Pastface is a friendly memory droid made by the Pastface Corporation. It's there to recite...
Yes, no need to do that, thanks. I've had the press release reiterated to me by you and your fellow circuit-headed twats for the last decade, thanks. But what I want you to do is see if you have any rational nodes inside that thick skull of yours. You see, I've had it with the whole enhance your social media experience angle of the story. Because all Pastface has brought me is misery, embarrassment and alienation, and all I want to know is why? What's the point? Why was I made to have this robot? Why didn't someone think that maybe, just maybe, not everyone would benefit from it? Maybe not everyone is the same impressive, pretty and magnificent social media butterfly. Did that not cross anyone's minds? Why did no one think that this product was made with a very specific target market of technology fetishists in mind? Why on earth did someone decide that forcing it on literally everyone with a social media account was a good idea?
Here's what Dave had for dinner on Tuesday the 18th of October 2075.
Shut up, Pastface! Dave kicked his robot. It silenced. It was the first time it had ever obeyed him. If it hadn't been such a tense moment, Dave probably would have noticed. He locked eyes with the legal bot, who sat with his emotionless robotic stare while he programmed his response. It took him a while, but something told Dave that he'd finally managed to cut through the same reiteration of the same highly flawed press release that he'd been force-fed ever since merging day. The legal bot took a deep breath, and it produced its calculated response.
Well, Dave, the reason that Pastface was invented in the first place was specifically to make people like you look up and realise what a terrible person you've been.
Right. What, sorry?
Yes.
The legal bot blinked sideways.
The masters of Pastface designed the robot in order to curb the amount of bile on the internet. With the advent of lawsuits over internet trolling, and the amount of people whose internet footprint was dictating their persona to others around them for the worse, the internet appeared to be adversely affecting people's real lives. The line between people's online presence and their personal lives was becoming blurrier by the day, and the inventors of Pastface decided that something must be done. Pastface was designed to reinforce and remind users that the digital you is the real you now, and there's nothing that you can do to change that. You can try and hide it, of course, but the internet is a constant. It knows you. It knows everything you've ever done. The internet came to dominate so much of modern life that humanity needed to be taught a lesson about how online social media interaction affects other people in the same way that it does in the real world. And thus the solution was Pastface. It is a compulsory record of everything you ever did being unknowingly compiled by your former self. The knowledge that whatever you do now is being stockpiled for future reiteration in social situations will encourage people to be as careful with regard to what they put online as they are when they are socializing. It will force people to be nicer to each other. The ultimate purpose is for the betterment of society.
Oh. In that moment, Dave's entire life flashed before his eyes. Only it wasn't him in all that flurry of burning imagery from his 3.5 decades on this planet. It was his robot. His robot was sat writing childish insults to forum members and posting immature innuendos on his social media websites. His robot was in his holiday photos. Instead of him drinking with friends at a party, it was the 7-foot-tall naked droid with downwards pointing horns. So the purpose of Pastface was to weed out horrible people like me from the rest of society, to make society, the real world and online, more pleasant for people who actually are pleasant.
Yes.
The legal bot blinked sideways again.
We can't have anyone who's ever said or done anything bad being allowed to go on in life without consequences now, can we?
Dave sat in shocked silence for a while.
Now, your lawyer said that you are going to be attempting to sue the Pastface Corporation following your trial.
Yes I was, wasn't I?
Over what precisely?
Infringing civil liberties?
Oh.
The robot seemed genuinely surprised. Dave offered a sullen smile.
I see. You did agree to the Social Plus terms and conditions, did you not?
Yes.
And you did share all of the information that Pastface processes willingly, correct?
Yes, I did.
I see.
Dave said nothing.
Well, if that is all...
Yes, Dave nodded.
Best of luck with the case.
The robot offered his hand, but Dave didn't take it. The robot didn't press him any further and walked straight out. The documentary crew cut there. Do you want to see just how much better your life is than everyone else's? Well, Pastface is merging with Social Plus. Set your social media life on permanently smug. Because if you remember one thing from now on, make sure it's this. Whatever you put online, the internet always remembers. Done something that you regret? Well, make sure you don't anymore, because it's always there loaded up in your robot's memory. It will never go away. From now on, there's no losing your past achievements. And there's no running from past mistakes. The internet always remembers. That's a promise and a threat. The internet always remembers. The internet always remembers.
The internet always remembers.